Did you know that 79.7% of US small businesses employ only the founder? Only the founder. That's a huge number. And that average entrepreneur works, on average, I should say, entrepreneurs work 66 hours a week. And that only 50% of businesses with employees survive 5 years. Okay. Today, I want to talk about how do we hire marketing and salespeople in a way that's going to put our business in a position for continuing to grow and not feel like we've just taken on more expense into our business. Okay. That is what I'm going to cover today. My name is Selena Guerrero, and I host this weekly conversation called the Thrive Biz Chat. And I talk about what it really takes to run a thriving service business. I am also the founder of the 90-Day Sales Director, where I help businesses create team-led growth strategies rather than having to do it all themselves. And the reason we want to do that is so that we can grow revenue and scale. All right. So I'm going to get into this here. So much of the work I do is really how do we get from being the 79.7% of solopreneur into a business where we're not working endless hours, where we're just not being crushed by the client work and never having any additional time to generate new clients, right? Like if all of a sudden we had 40 more hours in a week, we could use that time to generate more business, okay? And so really it's a question, an issue of time. And so I want to talk about when you hire a marketing person or when you hire a salesperson, how should this marketing person be spending their time to make that hire a really good investment that's going to give back to you? And how should the salesperson be spending their time in order for you to get a return on your investment, to be able to leverage their time to grow the business and not just have those be additional line items on your budget? And also, when you hire a marketing or a salesperson, how do we use the time that you have now free? Because in most cases, you were doing the work. Okay, so I want to think about time as money and really the money that anytime you're creating a budget, right? You're creating, anytime you're spending money, you're really making an investment in your business, right? An investment to grow. So let's look at the marketing person. I'm going to give you a little scenario. Let's say that you hire a marketing assistant to replace the work that you're doing on a weekly basis of, let's say you're doing social media and you're doing emails, and you've hired someone to basically kind of take at least most of that over. Okay. Now, let's say you've got a salesperson. Same thing. Let's say you're doing sales calls. Let's say you're vetting opportunities. Let's say you're networking. Okay. You hire a salesperson to take over those responsibilities. Now, what I want to suggest, let me back up. What I want to explain to you is that when we talk about sales strategy, when we talk about how to get more clients, okay, I talk about having your email list, which is already people that are in your world. I talk about followers, right? And people who are listening, following you and listening to what you have to say. And then I talk about how do we get new leads, right? Those people are already connected with us. How do we reach new audiences? How do we get new leads into our world? Because when we can get more leads, we can get more clients and we can grow revenue. Okay. And so what I want to suggest to you is that when your time, that you were spending marketing is replaced, let's say it's 5 hours. If you can take those 5 hours that were replaced by the marketing assistant and invest that time into one of those 3 new audience building activities, which is outbound sales, ads to webinar, let's say even, or guest speaking, okay? If you can use your time to A, do outbound sales, B, present on a webinar or workshop to new leads, or do guest speaking either on a podcast or on a stage or guest blogging even. If you can replace the time that you spent with doing, emails and social media and replace it with one of those 3 things, your investment in the marketing assistant will make greater sense. If your marketing person just replaces those activities, there's no way to pay back the cost. You've just added an expense. So especially with marketing and sales, like, you have real opportunity. They're not just overhead. You have a real opportunity here to use that marketing person's time and replace it with new business building activities that the marketing person can do, that other people can't do because you're the founder and the owner of the company, okay? In addition, that marketing person, I would recommend that they not just replace the social media and the email, which is, again, reaching the same audience, which is super important because you need to continue to nurture those relationships 100%. But what if you made sure that marketing person also supported one of those 3 new audience, new lead gen building activities? Okay, so what was that? Outbound sales. Maybe they're not going to do outbound sales, but maybe they'll comment more on social media, kind of like a social selling aspect. What if they helped create ads and they ran the webinars, right? Ran those workshops, those free workshops to generate new leads and client and nurture existing leads to become clients. And what if they spent time looking for new speaking opportunities for you? Okay, so when they come in, if you paying somebody, make sure that you're thinking about how can I make sure that I'm going to get essentially a return on investment, that I'm going to be able to actually afford to pay this person, that this person is going to help me generate new revenue in order to pay them in the first place. Okay. I want to talk about the salesperson now. And it's virtually the same situation, same parallel kind of scenario. Let's say you have so many leads, you have so many people coming in, you need somebody to manage those opportunities. Maybe they need to do some networking for you and so on. Okay. Let's say, I don't know, let's say it's 10 hours, something. Those 10 hours that they're replacing you. Now, listen, I realize you might need some time not working, right? For the health of your business and the health of yourself. I get that. But were you dealing with a hypothetical here? So they've come in, they've now replaced you. Now, essentially, you just have another expense. You've just now paying somebody to do it. What if we took those 10 hours that you used to spend that have now been replaced by somebody else doing, again, one of those 3 things? Outbound sales, which of course you now have a new salesperson, but you could do that. 2, the ads to webinar or workshops, right? You as the founder owner are probably going to be leading those webinars to build authority. Okay. And if you're combining with ads or even leveraging your existing audience, you are spending now that time creating a workshop, a free workshop, or some sort of presentation, right? Because only you can do that. Whereas you didn't have time to do that anymore because you were so busy, right, with marketing sales. Or 3, guest speaking. Nobody can do the guest speaking except for you. Okay. In addition, the salesperson can take over the time and the effort that you are spending on sales. But in addition, I strongly recommend that they, in addition to the work that you already do, making sure they're also doing outbound sales, Make sure that they're inviting your existing audiences to the free workshops that you're doing now on a monthly, or let's just say quarterly basis. Right? And so really giving thought to how the investment of money into hiring these people, while on the surface just is going to get you some free time because you're completely overloaded, we want to leverage the time that they're spending and make sure that a good percentage of the work they're doing is, again, reaching that outer tier, not with the existing email subscribers, not with the existing social media followers, but with new audiences, people that have never heard about you before. Because when you have your marketing person and you have your salesperson spending a good portion of their active time doing one of those three things in the new audiences lead gen category, that's when you'll get a return on that investment. That's when you can get some leverage to really build your business in terms of getting more leads, convert those leads into clients, and exponentially get more revenue for the investment you made in the marketing and sales hires. It is often taken for granted that that should be something to think about. And so if you're out there thinking about hiring somebody marketing, I encourage you to make sure they're doing some of those activities, not just, filling in the gaps where you used to do. And the salesperson isn't just covering for you, but both of them are doing, and you who now have more freed up time are doing, again, one more thing, those three things, right? To build new leads. This is how we get to new people that don't know you about, but that's how we grow our businesses. Right? Outbound sales, social selling, ads, or, just workshop ads to webinars, and then guest speaking. Okay. If you are thinking about hiring marketing and salespeople, if you're trying to systematize your sales so that you can grow, so that you can get beyond just being by yourself, or maybe you already have a marketing assistant, but you're trying to get to this position where you're making investments in your sales and marketing in order to get enough money to be able to pay that back, then some, which is the goal. I hope that you'll reach out to me. You can message me. You can find me at selinaguerrero.com, but I'll have my information in the comments. I hope that was helpful. Please reach out. I'd love to chat about this with you and see where you're at and see how you can make sure that those investments are making sense for you and getting you to the next level of growth in your business. That's all for today. I'll see you soon. Bye.